before you had ever uttered the words "I love you," I knew you did.
Mm.
I Whew. Oh, I just the way you treated me, um, the way you showed up for me. Um, I was free to be me, and I remember in past relationships, I would always say, like, if somebody wasn't doing certain things, it'll be because that's not how my daddy does it. I've had countless conversations with my dad, and I'm just like, well, my daddy do this and my daddy does that. And he had to finally tell me, like, you have to stop telling people that. And I cannot remember to this day. I cannot remember his why, but I tell anybody it's his love. Not just my heavenly father, my earthly father too. Like, I think their love combined saved me in ways I never knew it could. And so when I met you, I didn't have to say my daddy doesn't do this or my daddy doesn't do that, or it was just like I just saw it. I saw it. And for me, that was such a big deal because I know for a fact a girl's first love is her daddy.
So, babe, just tell me how you feeling today. You looking good.
Thank you. I feel good. I got my hair cut
Eh?
today. All crispy or whatever. Today was a good day though. Like,
Yeah.
me and Caleb had a really good day. I attended this really dope social work conference. Got some cool little nuggets there. So yeah, today was good.
Cool. Okay. Social work conference. Scared of you.
I was about to go.
I don't know where we got that from, babe. Where we get that from?
I tell you later.
Okay.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Any whoosies. Girl, you're looking good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They said we got a little too explicit on the last one. If you ain't seen the last one, you need to stop it right now. Go back and watch things I wish I knew before I said I do. We got so much positive feedback. So many people were like, y'all crazy. So many people were like, man, it blessed me. Keep having the conversation. This is needed. You're blessing our relationships. And so we just want to thank everybody who has really supported us from the beginning, everybody who has been behind us, who has supported us with comments, with shares, not just looking, but liking. We thank you all for being a part of the community, even some financial support. We appreciate you guys for supporting the podcast. Um, we just gonna keep letting God use us, and it don't have to be a quote unquote in church setting for God to use you. God can use you in any way that brings Him glory and can build somebody else up.
Absolutely.
For sure, for sure. So we ain't gonna prolong it. Listen, I've been excited to have this conversation since last week. Tonight's discussion is, why did I get married?
Why the heck? Why for?
What the fee? Why?
Oh, I got that, Dr. G.
Why did I get married? This is a question that somewhere along the line, whether positively or negatively, every married person has asked themselves, why did I get married? And I'm hoping, see, we don't know each other's answers to this question. I'm hoping, trusting, and praying that we have positive results. I'm kind of nervous, but I'm gonna let you go first, bro.
I went first last time, so you gotta go first.
Ladies first.
You better go first. Come
I'm
on.
scared.
Share. Why you scared?
I'm scared. Okay.
Don't you scared, huh?
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. All right.
Woo.
Why did I get married? I guess it's only fair to really start from the beginning and just say I've always wanted something more.
Mm-hmm.
As a single person, I knew I wanted something real. However, I didn't know how to want what I wanted or how to want what I needed. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
Like, I know for a fact I was a booger bear. Transparent moment. I was not fit to be nobody's husband. I wasn't fit to be nobody's boyfriend, to be honest. And the reason I got married is it was like that Saul on the road to Damascus where God literally had to blind me. You know, he told Saul was on his way to go kill Christians, doing what he always had done. And God blinded him and said, Saul, why are you persecuting me? He literally took his sight so he can get vision. And I feel like God did something similar to me where I'm just doing what I do. I'm out here skeezing. Out here playing. I'm talking about out here like, feel like I'm the man of the year out here. And then God hit me like with a ton of bricks. And it was like, hey, this your wife, you about to mess it up. Like, this your wife, she ain't like everybody else. So you need to get right. And it was like a moment where I was blind. It was like a moment where everything I thought I knew, God was like, nah, let me show you what's the real. And I'm so grateful for that because, man, Lord knows. Yeah, I ain't gonna keep talking about myself, but I was out here, y'all. So I got married because it was made crystal clear that you were my wife. Like, it was made crystal clear that you were my real. And I was like, I'd be a fool not to marry you. I'd be a dumb dog. So, ain't gonna get too mushy, but that's why. That's one of the reasons why I got married.
Oh, I can breathe, y'all. So first of all, oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you for sharing. That was so stinking beautiful. I thought my eyes were gonna slit a few times. I really appreciate that. I was like so nervous. I did not know what you were gonna say. I was sitting on pins and needles, but I'm also feeling like extra silly tonight. I don't know why. But you know, I've been playing all night. So, anywho, for me, I'm just gonna switch gears like that real quick. I wasn't planning on being in a relationship. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm about to be single for like the rest of my life. But no, like seriously, I was like, okay, whatever. I was on my healing journey, and it was personal for me, and I'm just like, ain't nobody getting in the way of this. I wasn't looking, and then you came along, mm-hmm. and things changed, but in a positive way. And while I was on this journey, one thing that I appreciated so much about you was that you respected my boundaries. You respected my no, and it wasn't any like gaslighting or, manipulation or anything like that. And so when it came to the woman I was growing into,
Mm-hmm.
and when it came to, even my relationship with Christ, my relationship with me, you didn't get in the way of that. You respected that process, you honored that process. And so for me, that was new.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a breath of fresh air. And so I got married because you honored my boundaries. I can honestly say, in my past, that wasn't a thing. You know what I'm saying? I oftentimes would feel guilty for expressing a boundary or saying no, because it would be like it didn't serve the other person for, I guess whatever it is that they wanted in that moment. And that wasn't the case. That was not the case with you. You respected me, and I I appreciate that so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I respected you because you demanded respect. And that's something, that's another reason why I can say a 1A or 1B is not only did God confirm you, I knew why he confirmed you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I've said this before, but you were totally different from what I was used to. Just transparently, man, me and we like the thrill of the chase, and we don't like to. A lot of us don't like to chase things that are too hard to reach. If I hope I'm making sense.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's cool to chase for a while, but then it's like we'll get the weakest antelope out of the bunch,
Mm-hmm.
not the one that's super healthy and super fast. That makes sense. If you look at the animal kingdom, the lions will attack the gazelle that's at the back of the pack.
Mm-hmm.
And they are more successful with the gazelle at the back of the pack because the gazelle at the back of the pack either injured or they hurt,
Mm-hmm.
or they don't run as fast, or maybe they just slower and mentally than the rest of the gazelles.
Mm-hmm.
They don't catch on as quick. Hey, there's somebody chasing me.
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody that's really seeking to devour me. And so men who don't have marriage mentality, we look for the weak one in the bunch to prey on,
Mm-hmm.
to get what we want out of it. And that's what I had been doing. I had been, I had been just transparent. I had been seeking who I could devour before I met you. And doggone it, if you didn't turn out to be the fastest gazelle in the pack. I said, shoot. I said, look, I thought I had me a meal. Man made me starve till we got married. Man made me, I'm talking about run for it. Man said, you want to eat, you got to catch me, player.
Oh, you so ugly.
Yeah, I'm like, all right now, Lord. I ain't know it was Meals on Wheels.
Oh, Lord.
But yeah. Your boy had to run for that one.
Oh,
And
my
I
God.
really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Like it was frustrating as heck in the beginning. Like, man, I can't get to this girl. Like, I can't do nothing. But it was like, yeah, this ain't fast food, player. This right here, slow cooker. You gonna have to wait. And the thing about that pot roast in that slow cooker though, yeah, When you finally get to it, it be tender. And it smell up the whole house when they junk cook. You know, the stomach just be growling. Like, is the roast done yet?
I'm about to say stomach be bubbling.
We ain't got to look at this. We don't want, look, let's keep going. Because you'll play all night and I ain't got time.
Okay, go. You got, then they go number two.
So number 2, why did I get married? Is, this falls right in line.
Yeah.
I got married. I'm gonna be transparent. Fellas, help me out. I got married because I had an appetite to fulfill. I was hungry. even though you cook, I ain't talking about physical food that you can eat. I ain't talking about something that's on the nutrition chart. I had an appetite. And I had a calling at the same time. And I heard a preacher say this, I can't remember who it was, but it's like, it's so hard to be gifted and be set apart because it's like your creativity is there and you automatically, your mind just, you do stuff with your mind. And so the devil was like after me heavy. And I knew I didn't want to be out here, when he tell Prince Hakeem, sowing his royal oats. I didn't want to be out here sowing my oats. So I got married because I knew I needed to. There's some people that, you know, they can be like Paul and abstain, and, you know, can control themselves, but I had an appetite. And I needed that appetite fulfilled, so that's why I went on and got married. By the grace of God, I have no kids before you. By the grace of God, I ain't have no crazy baby mamas and all this stuff, but you know, that's only by the grace, because I could have had, you know what I'm saying? I said, nah, Lord, you know what I'm saying, I understand. Let me go ahead and instead of going and getting Uber Eats, I can have it, you know, dinner every night.
Get the whole buffet. So number 2 for me was your patience. And I have to admit, you were very patient. Very, very patient. When we, again, I was on my healing journey, and I was unapologetic about this healing journey. I wasn't playing, and I had standards. Like, I knew my worth, I knew my value. It was just like, no, I can't keep playing small. And so everything that I knew I wasn't going to accept, like, I was upfront with you about it. Like, I didn't come in like saying, okay, this is what I want in a man. Absolutely not. And at the same time, if you did something or said something, I'm just like, that's not my trajectory of growth is like, I'm calling you out on it. And you were so very patient. And you were also intentional about implementing whatever I brought to your awareness as it related to just, again, that whole honor and respecting piece when it came to just my boundaries and just me really growing. You did it. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, if I say, hey, I don't want you doing this, it was just like, okay. You know, you came over, I was like, we staying up front, you ain't going to my room. You was just like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Or if we, were communicating and it was, I don't know, it was whatever it may have been, like you were patient.
Yeah.
So very patient.
By the grace of God.
And so I just, again, a breath of fresh air. And it wasn't something that I was used to, but it was something I appreciated so much.
Yeah, that was something I wasn't even used to. Because I saw a point where if I wasn't getting what I wanted, if it wasn't serving me in relationship, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like I said, but I know there was nobody but God that shifted my mentality. Man, it was like, and I kind of told you this before, but the reason I had that mentality shift is because I was laying up with somebody in their bed. Like I basically practically moved in with the lady, going to work every day, and I go straight over her house. I might have an actual residence where in my grandmother's house or whatever, but I stayed with her. You know what I'm saying? I knew this girl loved me. However, it was like I was doing my thing. And there was no God in it. Like, it was no God in it. Until one day, I'm laying over in her bed, she gone, and like I start crying uncontrollably. Like, it's like God was whooping me without putting his hand on me. It was like I was weeping because I heard the voice of God say, "You know better." Like, I heard him say, "You know better. How can you be a worship leader? How can you be teaching young adults?" You see what I'm saying? Like, "Saul, why are you persecuting me?" He was like, "God, who are you, Lord?" Like, God had to reintroduce himself to me. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, "God." So I literally got up from there the very next day and was like, "Hey, I can't do this no more." It may have hurt her. I know it did. It may have been a shocker because I truly believe she may have loved me. Like, I truly believe that. And at the same time, it was like, at that moment, it was like God needed me to cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I actually started, when I had actually started pursuing you, I was in the middle of cleansing. I wasn't fully cleansed yet. We already talked about the very beginning stages was rough for us.
Rough for me, rough for you.
Child, the beginning stages was rough, right? But God cleansed me so that I could have that patience. He cleansed me so that I could have that wherewithal to say, "Oh, you can't expect something different if you keep doing the same thing that you've been doing."
Yeah.
So I'm looking at all the failed relationships I was in, and I'm like, the common denominator of all those failed relationships is me. The only thing all those people had in common, all those relationships had in common, the only thing all those outcomes had in common was me. And I made up my mind. I said, that's not the life I want to live. If I bring kids in this world, that's not the life I want them to see. The people I lead spiritually, that's not the life I want to portray to them. We all got faults, however. I ain't trying to live like my faults are okay. Like, I got to a point where I was no longer struggling with it. It was like a day-to-day thing. And that's the scary part, when you no longer struggle.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when God took me through that cleansing, he gave me the wherewithal to navigate that relationship, to say, "Okay, she's saying no for a reason. You ain't going in her bedroom for a reason. Y'all standing in the front on the couch for a reason. You got to leave by a certain time for a reason. It's like, y'all ain't doing no touching for a reason." It's like, and in that moment, my flesh was upset. My flesh was like, I used the analogy, like, you ever seen a hummingbird? How fast they be moving, like they can't sit still. That's how I was on the inside. Like, I'm trying to move, trying to go. And then it's like you moving at the speed of a snapping turtle. So another reason I got married, and the reason I married you, is because of the calling on my life. And I knew God had a calling that was for me, but it was bigger than me. He had a calling on my life so big that I couldn't fulfill it by myself. And the woman I chose could either be a great blessing or a great burden. And the reason I married you is because I knew you were a blessing. I knew that even if, I decided that my calling wasn't to preach, I knew that we would bless millions together. Even if it was just, starting a nonprofit or mentoring kids or whatever the case may be. I knew for certain that you were my help. And the road God is leading me down into pastoral ministry, I knew I needed you because, man, I've seen some people that's married on paper, that's pastors. Their relationship don't reflect love at all. It's like, okay, we'll take a picture together. We riding in separate cars. I'll see you later. I'll sleep on the couch when I get home. You can look at their pictures and tell ain't no love in the picture. It look awkward. I like.
So silly.
I knew I couldn't fake that.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that you were that piece that God literally took out of me just to give back to me. And all of my weak areas, it's like I've been missing this piece. And here you go to plug it in. So in times in my ministry where I was not assertive in my communication, you have literally pushed me to be assertive. Times where I would have just let stuff, build up and maybe said something to you about it, but not address it in the moment. Like, you helped me navigate that. I'm a better leader because of you. Do you hear me? I'm a better man because of you. I know they get tired of my man type, my woman type stuff. But this is real. Like, and if somebody can just look at our story and just glean information or just inspiration from like what I'm saying, I'm helping somebody. Because it's some men out here who may be aspiring to be pastors, aspiring to be organizational leaders, aspiring to be CEOs, and you dating, man, let me tell you something. Dude, look me in my eye when I look me in my eye when I'm telling you this. You know in your heart right now if she right. You know in your heart, it don't take long. People gonna drag me into companies where you don't know how long. It don't take that long. We make all kind of decisions like this because we take the time to research trucks we want. Come on, man. We research cars we want. We research the job. We research the career. Within a few months, you already know. Yeah, that 2023 just came out. I want that. You know them shoes, the colorway before they hit the shelf. You in the Nike line, and you know what you want, right? That woman, I'm telling you, man, make the right decision. Do your study. Do your research. Because that woman can make or break you. I've seen it. I'm blessed and fortunate enough that God gave me another opportunity. And God said, hey, she here. You better take that. You better go ahead because you might not get another opportunity. And I'm fortunate that I took it. However, a lot of people not that, not that fortunate. A lot of people mess over their good thing. And then, months, weeks, years later, they like, dang, I wish I would have did X, Y, and Z with Shirley. I wish I would have did X, Y, Z with Keisha. Now Keisha happy. She, she glowing. They in Punta Cana together. They in the Cabos together. They in Jamaica. She done got proposed to. Now you in her inbox. Man, leave that walk with the Lord. She happy. But the reason I got married is because it was without a doubt. It not only made good sense, it made God sense. You was it. Greatest decision of my life outside of giving my life to Christ was marrying you. And I knew that before I said I do. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Mrs. Ashford, it is. So, that's my number 3.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So just hearing you say all that, it really, like it kind of affirms my number 3. But for me, before you had ever uttered the words "I love you," I knew you did. The way you treated me, the way you showed up for me, I was free to be me. And I remember in past relationships, I would always say, like if somebody wasn't doing certain things, it'll be because it's not how my daddy does it. I've had countless conversations with my dad, and I'm just like, well, my daddy do this and my daddy does that. And he had to finally tell me, like, you have to stop telling people that. And I cannot remember, to this day, I cannot remember his why. But I tell anybody, it's his love. Not just my heavenly father, my earthly father too. Like, I think their love combined saved me in ways I never knew it could. And so when I met you, I didn't have to say, my daddy doesn't do this, or my daddy doesn't do that, or it was just like, I just saw it. I saw it. And for me, that was such a big deal because I know for a fact a girl's first love is her daddy. And I knew that I was okay with my daughter growing up to see you, as a father figure, and to see the role that you have played in my life. And I literally would be at peace if she married a man like you, because I'm like, not only, does he love God like that, I knew their relationship wasn't just for play. I could see it when we started dating, and I could see that you were intentional about growth. I didn't, the one thing I didn't see you just wasting time. I know you love to play your game and you love to go fishing. But when you weren't doing that, you weren't just sitting around watching TV doing nothing. You were doing something with your hands. You were reading. You were learning. You were growing. And just the 4 short years we've been together, um, well, almost 4, I have seen you grow so much. I have, I have seen you grow so much, and it has been so beautiful to see. You know, you inspire me. Like, I love how dedicated you are to your craft. Like, when you want to learn something, you go all in, and you are consistent, you're dedicated. Like, you're just not some fickle little person. And I absolutely love that. And so for me to feel and experience and know your love before you even said it.
Wow.
That was why I said yes.
Wow.
When you asked me to marry you.